Hi there, welcome to Loving Life on Less. My name's Liz. My husband, who's not around for this video, is called David, and we like to talk about ways to save money, make money, be frugal, but be happy and content in the process. Now, at the moment, when Christmas is nearly upon us, and probably most of our biggest expenditures of the year will have occurred in this month, outside of the things like mortgage and energy bills. It's one of those bills that is flexible into how much or how hard you want to celebrate Christmas, and hopefully not many two people have gone into debt for Christmas for that one day of the year. You can make it a really special day, as you know, without a lot of expenditure. Looking out towards after Christmas and into the new year, when we really need to be looking at budgeting and planning for 2023. We know times aren't going to get any easier financially. Bills aren't going to be coming down. Inflation isn't going to be coming down greatly. The cost of energy is questionable whether it'll keep going up or stay the same. Fuel has dropped a little bit in the UK in about the last 6 weeks, but there's no guarantee it won't rise again. So we really need to know exactly what every penny, every pound, and what every dollar is doing. And to do that, we need to plan ahead. I like to plan ahead in sort of like the last couple of weeks in December when I get the chance for the new year in 2023. I have a big budget planner for 2023 and lifestyle planner really, and it was actually my Christmas present from the hubby. I just love writing things down. It's a little bit sort of one of my things, writing things down and ticking them off, more so than even using my phone or a pad or a computer or spreadsheets or anything like that. I'm just a big writer. I'm old fashioned in that kind of way. I thought I'd read out some of my list that I've written down for 2023 regarding the plans for being frugal and practical and prudent. It's not a comprehensive list. You may find that you do plenty of them yourselves already. Some of them may seem really basic, but there are one or two in there that are quite quirky, which work for us. They may work for you. They may be entirely irrelevant for you. So here we go. My frugal tips for a brighter 2023. Number one, set a budget. Have a rough idea of all your incomings for the year, money coming in, and all your outgoings, money that needs to be paid out. And make sure every single pound or dollar has a job to do. Don't have any, in brackets, what we call spare money, because spare money always ends up getting wasted. If you've only got £1 left over at the end of each month, make sure that £1 or that $1 is given a job to do, whether it's £1 in the savings bank, £1 on a tin of fish to put in the back of your prep pantry for a later date, or £1 for some extra needle and cotton for repairs. Whatever it might be, make sure every pound and every dollar has a job and it's included within the budget. Spare money becomes wasteful money, and you don't want that, certainly not at the moment. Number two, cut back on any luxury bills, and these include TV subscription packages, apart from the very bare basics, internet packages. You may have subscriptions for various different apps that you maybe need to get rid of. Look at exchanging expensive mobile phone contracts for cheaper phone contracts. Magazine subscriptions, beauty box subscriptions, newspapers that you're still receiving through the door. I mean, most of the time you can get the news online for free if that's what you want to do. Whatever is not a need, it is a luxury or just a bit of a pleasure, look at it and reflect on it. Can you live without it? Can you go without it? That way you could save some money and put that budgeting money to better use. And also, can you sort of work your way around it? You want an expensive TV subscription, maybe because you like movies. Can you watch the selection of free movies on the likes of YouTube? If you have an Amazon Prime account, can you watch the free movies that come with that? If you're using the Amazon Prime account for deliveries and such like. Do you have a local library which will rent out DVDs, movies, and audio cassettes, audio discs for free? Show my age, they're audio cassettes. Same with books. Ask your library to get in a book you want rather than buying it. And then you could make sure that you really actually want a copy. Most authors will actually get a percentage of money every time their book's taken out of the library. So don't think that you're doing the author down, because you're not. Number three, buy secondhand. Most things you can actually buy secondhand and get much better quality and a greater price reduction than buying new. Whether it's clothes, a television, a car. We don't seem to mind even buying secondhand houses, but some people can be a bit funny about buying anything else secondhand that's already been used. Most things are entirely hygienic to reuse again, and if you're worried about it, just give them a quick clean. If something's actually lasted that long to be sold secondhand, there might be a little bit of quality in there. Or somebody's just changed their mind, bought something expensive, changed their mind, and of course, I've had to sell it for less because people don't want to pay top pop secondhand. You can get some absolute bargains. So before you make any purchase, apart from possibly food, buy secondhand. Number 4, when it comes to food, it's one of the most flexible bills where you can actually cut back, or that can actually seemingly go through the roof overnight, looking at the way food prices are moving at the moment. The less you shop, the better for you because you're taking away impulsive buys. If you can only shop once a week, you're stopping a lot of those extra little purchases when you just pop to the corner shop every day. You might end up just going for a packet of toilet roll and you end up coming out with a magazine, 2 chocolate bars, and a packet of tea bags. So, shop once a week if you can, if you're really good, really disciplined, once a month. Also, online shopping can help prevent impulsive buys. You don't get so many bargains on the online shopping, but if being impulsive and overspending is your thing, online shopping can certainly get things tailored back in so you're spending less and sticking to your budget. Number 7, stop having coffee and cake out every week. It might seem like a little bit of a weekly treat and you might be supporting your local cafe, but if you can't afford it, you can't do it. That's not to say don't budget to have it as a treat, just don't see it as a weekly occurrence. Also, a really good thing to do is when you do go out is use the smaller businesses, the singular businesses, rather than the big corporations. The singular businesses may be a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get a lot more handcrafted food and coffees, and you're supporting somebody in their venture. You're helping someone pay the mortgage, somebody buy their children's school uniform, somebody saving up for their 1 year away somewhere, rather than a big corporation where you are giving your money to shareholders and fat cat bosses. Number 8 is quite a biggie for me, and it's more thinking and reflecting rather than actually acting. It's look at where you are wasting money. Whether it's are you an excessive gift buyer for Christmas and birthdays? Do you like alcohol, cigarettes, frequent takeaways? Do you pay for a shopping bag every time you go out shopping rather than taking one with you? Where are you wasting money? One of the best ways to do this and find it out is to have a diary for a month and note down everything that you're spending. Then go over it and see what unnecessary purchases you've made and where the money is burning a hole in your pocket. Number 9, don't waste anything, especially food. When it comes to food, meal plan. Work out what you're going to make and get really familiar with leftovers. Leftovers make some fantastic meals. It's just a case of getting imaginative of what you can do with them. We have quite a lot of leftover meals on the channel. So keep your eyes out. We see it as a bit of a challenge of what good, yummy stuff we can actually make from leftovers. Number 11, when you are out shopping and you see a really good offer, buy it and include it in your menu plan, or buy it to store it and include it in a later menu plan. Don't give up a surprise buy when it's a really good offer if you can utilise it fully. Last week I was planning on doing quite a few chicken dishes from a very large chicken that was on offer at my local farmer's shop. But when we went in there, they had some absolute cracking deals on goat of all things. So we got chicken and goat, and we've put the goat into separate bags and frozen them for later days. We're not going to put them on this week's menu plan or this month's menu plan, but next month there will definitely be coming out some lovely goat curries. Some other ways of bringing your food budget down in cost is bulk out your meat. That can include with lentils or oats or pulses. We do actually have a video here where we made 500 grams of ground lamb or minced lamb into 5 nights evening meals for 4 people. And we managed to do that by bulking out with oats. It's well worth a watch. if you fancy getting a little bit creative and making your meat go further. You can also have a few veggie meals. Obviously, that's cheaper than meat, and there's some, veggies are absolutely fantastic if you've got the right spices and the right herbs and things. Veggie meals do not have to be boring, and they are so good for you. Batch cook, of course, if you can cook extra and freeze or fridge up for a later date. And in general, just eat more vegetables because they are so good for you. Whether it's giving the kids the odd peeled carrot to snack on, or whether it's just adding extra lettuce to your sandwiches to bulk it out. Use your veggies not only for flavour and vitamins and minerals, but as fantastic bulkers. And number 12 is a two-parter. If you can, grow your own vegetables. Not everybody has huge amounts of gardens. You can grow in tubs. You can even grow on your windowsills, and my mum grows cucumbers in a bathroom. So if you've only got small spaces, start looking up on the internet for small space for growing your own vegetables. If you've got a large garden or an acre or two, you're laughing when it comes to growing your own. It's just getting down to doing it and getting some experience. And the other part of number 11 was get a good foraging book for your local area. So if you're in the UK, get a UK foraging book, because come from spring onwards, there's many free vegetables, fruits, leaves, all sorts of things that you can forage and add to supplement your diet. The most important thing to remember when it comes to foraging is if you can't 100% identify something, don't pick it. If in doubt, go without, whatever you do, because there are some funguses particular and some plants which are toxic to humans. So make sure you know what you're doing and what you're identifying. We will be doing a video on our favourite foraging books in the next few weeks, probably more towards early spring in the UK, just as there's not a lot out there at the moment. There's a few berries and they're generally left for the birds for winter. So keep your eye out for that video if foraging interests you, because there's nothing better than free food. Number 13, start looking for or using the food exchange or food waste sites and apps in your country. A lot of countries don't have food banks, but they may have apps and cycles such as Olio, Too Good To Go, Frugal and FreeCycle. We have those in the UK, and it's basically a way of either paying a very small amount of money for your food or actually getting it for free. Frugal and FreeCycle don't very often do food, but they do cover a lot of furniture and any other item you can possibly imagine that you may want. They're also good places to get rid of items you no longer want, so somebody else can use them rather than them going to landfill. You'd have to search on the internet in your country for what sites and what banks are around for you. Number 14, get some side hustles, stroke extra money in. And what I'm looking at this year is actually doing some mystery shopping. There's a company called Grassroots, which I have used once or twice a few years ago. And I'm looking at getting reacquainted with those. And now that we've moved house and the amount of housework to do and jobs around the house is not quite so time consuming, I shall definitely be looking at mystery shopping again. There's also Top Cashback and Quidco. They are two apps that you can use on the internet, which when you make purchases of insurances and the such like, you get cash back. And also, if you're very talented on the internet, whether it be copywriting, making videos, designing graphics, whatever your talent may be, you may be able to offer your services on an internet site called Fiverr, and that's Fivver. And we've actually used a copywriter and book cover editor using Fiverr services, but it's a really good way. You're offering your services to people around the world, so there's a really big audience of potential bosses there ready to pay you money for one-off jobs. Not forgetting to mention, if you keep watching our videos, I'm sure there'll be more tips and wisdoms and little side hustles for you to get involved in. If you do like our content, please like, subscribe and share. And most of the time we aim to release a video every day. So if you subscribe, you'll know I'll be up to date with all our latest videos. Another fantastic side hustle is selling unused items. And some of my favourite sites for that is eBay and Vinted and Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is certainly better for people in your local area to come and collect items. eBay and Vinted, better for items which need to be sent somewhere. So you've got a lot bigger audience. But if you're making things or you're very craft orientated, or you are just very, very arty, Etsy is another site to sell items on. We've had some gorgeous handmade jewellery we've purchased from Etsy, as well as a handmade bag, which my little girl really, really loved. Well, she chose it, she really loved it. Number 16, look at learning a new skill or improving an old skill. Anything especially to do with repairing is going to stand you in great stead at the moment, because it's having to pay one less person to do something or one less item to rebuy. So whether it's repairing a broken electrical item, having to stitch a hole in a skirt, changing the filter of your vacuum cleaner or your fish tank, whatever it may be, there will be a video on the internet showing you how to do it. So learning and improving your repairing skills will save you money. Number 17, you could trade services with your neighbours, become more community orientated, and become more aware of what services they do have. You may cook fantastic meals, your single neighbour next door may be knowing how to wallpaper. There's some exchanges there to be had. And not only that, when you know your neighbours, you can find out if someone else is struggling and needs an extra hand, whether it's just a friendly ear, a smile, a cooked meal, someone to look after their dogs, or just somebody to keep an eye on their house when they're away. Always look at being community orientated, because 2023, we're going to need each other more than ever. Number 18, this isn't personally for me, but I know it would have been great advice previously when I was in debt. If you are in debt and you are struggling, get help. The moment you reach out and somebody can help you with your debt, even if it's just talking about it, the worrying thoughts and the sleepless nights will slow down and eventually come to an end. The Citizens Advice Bureau and Step Change in the UK are both free services which will really, really help you with the debt. They will remove a lot of the stress, which is very often the biggest woe of debt, and will be able to pick up some of the strain by dealing with your creditors for you. Step Change is particularly good at this, and they will organise payments you actually can afford. I don't know of any of the debt charities in America, but I do know that there's a gentleman called Dave Ramsey, which I'm sure you've all heard of, and he has something called the baby steps, which is a process of becoming debt free and moving on to becoming independently wealthy. They're great to look at, and all free information on the internet. So if you're in the UK or in the US, definitely look up Dave Ramsey on the internet. And finally, my biggest thought and uplift for 2023 will be looking at having a better attitude of gratitude. And even though times are really hard and really desperate, we're always better off than somebody else, whether it's a homeless person in the UK, whether it's somebody living in an Indian shanty town. We're always going to be better off than somebody else. And that's not about thinking, oh, isn't it fantastic, we're okay. It's about being grateful for what you do have, not being grateful for what you've been given, but being grateful for what you do have and what you've achieved and what you've managed. And what, times are hard, but by being grateful for all you do have, it will kickstart so many more blessings to you and towards you. And if you can help anybody else that's not as well off as you, whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, do it. There's nothing feels better than helping somebody else. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I wish you all a very peaceful day. Much love, light, and happiness. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye bye, all.